My wife and I both train to keep ourselves fit and healthy. My wife more to keep fit and healthy, but I certainly train to compete. And we generally alternated who went out early in the mornings, but being a Saturday morning, we generally both tried to get out and exercise. It was her turn to go out first, so she went out for a training ride first, and then I went out afterwards. So I set off from home at about 10 o'clock, and at a few minutes past 12 on the way home, as with all accidents, it happened about 5 minutes from home, and I was struck on the right hand side by a passing truck whilst riding on Beach Road. The impact from the truck ricocheted me into the back of a parked four-wheel drive, and I then broke my neck, and that's where the second part of my life began. Prior to the accident, I competed at a professional or an elite level in triathlon over all distances, so locally in sprint races, nationally in both Olympic distance, and then on to even Ironman level racing. But most importantly, I was a father and a husband, and worked at a very high level, executive level in information technology. Pride of myself in working hard at what I did and being the best I could be at what I attempted to do, and triathlon was no exception, and it was obviously a love of mine.
I started to wonder where Mike was, and then I realised I wasn't sure exactly what time he'd left, and so I waited another half an hour, and I thought, okay, he should be home by now, and I started ringing his phone and didn't answer. So my immediate reaction was to be fairly cranky that he wasn't answering his phone, and I kept ringing it, and my neighbour popped over, and I said to her, look, I don't feel right. There's something not right. He's been gone way too long. He's probably just ridden along. I'm not going to worry about it yet.
My injuries were grave and dire. My wife was even given the option to turn the machines off. So I was kept very heavily sedated whilst a series of operations took place, both on my neck and my jaw, which was shattered, and I was very much in a morphine-induced coma for at least 6 to 8 days, and it was only then that I woke up and asked a nurse what happened. She told me what had happened, and it's obviously quite a big thing to come to terms with, and you just don't know what it's going to mean for you and your family.
I kept ringing Mike's phone in the interim, and finally it was answered, and I screeched at some poor lad in emergency, thinking that it was Mike answering his phone. Where have you been? Why didn't you answer? I've rung 35 times. What were you thinking? Duh! And anyway, and then he very calmly told me that his name was something up at the Alfred Hospital, and at which point I kind of lost all ability to really know what was going on.
So it was about 5 weeks before I had any recollection of what actually happened. And during that time, there was obviously police investigations taking place, and the truck driver certainly didn't stop.
The doctors were fantastic, and one of the, I guess, key people that I spoke to was, or that got involved at that stage, was a girlfriend of mine who's a very senior lawyer at one of the big firms. She said to me, look, I've taken the liberty of ringing Peter. He's going to come and meet you in at ICU because he knows that you won't want to go and leave Michael for any period of time. I'll take the children. You meet with Peter. And I remember thinking, oh no, should I go with? I've never heard of Peter. Who's Peter? How do I know what I'm doing? I don't know what I'm doing. What am I thinking? And I remember the thing that she said to me that tipped me over the edge was, she looked at me and she said, Mon, if it was my husband lying in that bed, I would be talking to Peter. And that just said to me, all right, yep, doesn't matter who else you've heard of, it doesn't matter who you think you know, it doesn't matter what you've heard about other people. If this person who is in this field and in this space, if her if it was her husband, that's who she would ring.
The nature of my injury, I need TOC's assistance along the way to make sure that I'm not too much of a burden on my family. And it's important to have a lawyer in place who can help me navigate that process. The relationship goes on, it doesn't stop once you've got compensation. It's a relationship that it's certainly in my case with permanent disability, it's a relationship that I need for life. And it's been very much a personal relationship. I don't feel like Peter's my lawyer, I feel like he's there to help. It's really just been a matter of, hi Peter, I need your help, and he'll help me. It's been wonderful.